Welcome to TOOP TV's newest segment, Fireside Chat. The original Fireside Chat was a regular radio show used by presidents to inform the public of the latest issues. It originated in 1933 and ran until 1944. But now the Fireside Chat is back and we're using it to tell you about the latest real estate issues. It's uninterrupted interviews with the experts in the know. So sit back, relax and enjoy Fireside Chat.
Welcome everybody to another Fireside Chat. Now this isn't the financial series where we've been talking to financial planners and also now we're about to talk about mortgages. So much press about interest rates, mortgage stress, can people afford it, can't they afford it, is the market running hot, is it running cold, is the bubble about to burst? We've covered all of these angles, but we're about to really get down into the trenches and find out where the real action is. The most sensitive part of the real estate transaction is the funding of the property. Now to that end we've got a national guru and a great friend of mine and a person with a lot of history, Mrs. Wendy Higgins, and she's the owner-manager of Mortgage Choice down at Glenelg. Is that right, Wendy?
Yes, Anthony. Yes, Anthony.
Great. Wendy, talk to me about many years ago you flew me to Sydney and we with the idea of us becoming one of your mortgage reps,
yes,
if you like, as a company, and selling mortgages through Mortgage Choice. Now that was an impressive tour of the head franchise or. Tell me about Mortgage Choice and how you fit in and what your history is.
Mortgage Choice has been around since 1992. I've been a franchisee since 1998. Coming up for 13 years. Fantastic journey that I've had with Mortgage Choice. I had a great career with the ANZ Bank but wanted to change. Looked at Mortgage Choice and thought this looks fantastic. I love the name, I love the brand. Went to Sydney, was overawed by the setup there. Have never looked back. Put my heart and soul into it and have a great successful business and great staff to this day.
Now, Wendy Higgins, Peter Higgins started it.
No relation, unfortunately not, no. But they do, I think I'm their favourite, and not just because of my name, but probably that helps.
Right. Now, Wendy, what's important for the viewers to hear is the sort of volumes that you're doing. You've won almost back to back #1 franchisee in the group across Australia. How have you done that?
Hard work. A lot of hard work, but having the right team around me and having the right support from the franchisor. Just trying to slow down a little bit now. Personally, I've been writing 50 to 60 loans a month and my business is doing
50 to 60 a month for you personally? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, a lot of hours. Couldn't do it without the help from my family and support from the staff.
So Dean works in, your husband, Dean?
He works alongside the business. When people ask him what he does, he says he works for me. I started the franchise myself, so it's actually mine. He is a co-director, but he isn't in the business from day to day. He sits at home at his computer and looks after all of our finances and oversees all the investment properties that we have. Right.
Now, speaking of investment properties, actually I'll come back to that. I just want to finish on the Mortgage Choice structure and then we'll get into what's happening with the property market. So you do 50 loans, or you have been doing 50 a month. That's just extraordinary. If people are not aware, normally a person would do 5 or 6 loans.
Yes,
right?
That's the
50 is
average.
Ridiculous. What about the rest of the team? How many in the team?
We've got 5 loan consultants and 5 other staff, and between them they've been doing the other 50. So because I've been doing half, I'm really trying to slow that down and spread the load a little bit more.
So you're doing 100 loans roughly?
Roughly 100 a month, just over 20 million in settlements per month.
Mainly in the Glenelg area, all over South Australia?
Our franchise is in Glenelg, but we do deals in Sydney, overseas, anyone who contacts us, mainly by internet, all of those, but our word gets out there and if you do the right thing, you get lots of personal referrals.
Right, now forgetting your particular franchise, in a couple of sentences, explain what a mortgage broker is and why.
A mortgage broker is someone that you should put alongside your doctor, dentist, accountant, as someone who is there for the long haul for you, looking after all your financial transactions to do with residential property. We also do some commercial and leasing, but mainly to do with residential property, getting equity out for investment properties, debt consolidation. We do anything to do with just looking after your home loan with residential property. So we do all the work. It's got harder. We do more work these days for the banks. Mortgage Choice is great because we get paid the same, so we're not biased towards a particular lender. And we just do all the hard work. I mean, there's a lot of hard work that people don't realise we do, from getting the loan approved to negotiating better deals with the lender. Because if you come to us, well, you know, it's open slather. We've got over 20 lenders on our panel, all vying for our business.
How many would have you had before the GFC?
We would have had, I think we were up to 28 or 29.
So it's back to 20?
Yeah, some of them are coming back. Macquarie has just come back into the market,
okay.
So a few of them have come back, but some of them haven't.
Right. Now, with financial planners, you didn't mention them. Where do they fit into your world?
They fit into our world with cross referrals, such as we refer people to our accountant, financial planners, if it's not something that we have the expertise in. We're mainly focused on the home loan requirement. We're not into superannuation and long-term investment strategies apart from through property. So there are cross referrals.
Now, Mark Lewis, who's one of your competitors, with Bernie Lewis Home Loans, he has taken on a financial advice area. Is that something you'd look at?
I think Mortgage Choice are looking at that nationally. At the moment, we have diversified into insurances, life insurance, income protection, which fits in really nicely with the home loan. People do insure their house and their car, don't insure themselves, and that's just becoming more and more necessary with our duty of care for all the clients that we're putting into huge debt. We have to make sure that they do have insurance cover. So we're into that side of it, and as I mentioned, commercial finance and leasing, but not into financial planning at this stage.
Right, okay. Now, just on the whole way the system works, someone walks in or rings you, well, if you're doing 50 a month, you've got a lot of phone calls happening, don't we, Wendy?
Yes.
So, person would ring you, they've heard about you or heard about a broker. Well, how does it work? Just step me through in 3 or 4 steps, what happens? Someone buys a property, or before they buy, when do they see you?
We'd like to see people before they buy because we love to have pre-approved loans. It doesn't cost a client anything, but it just takes that uncertainty away. It does a credit check, it just checks everything and it gets it into the bank. Banks have tightened up a lot, so we can't sort of guarantee any loans like we used to anymore. We really need to get it into the lender. So we like to see people before they're ready, but often people don't do that. That's fine. We love to get a phone call where I've just bought a house and I really need some financial help. That's fantastic. That's a fantastic lead. The leads come into the office. I have admin people who take those leads, get information from the clients and make an appointment as quickly as possible. We've got 5 loan consultants, so we spread the leads out amongst the 5 according to the level of expertise that is required from the initial discussion with the client.
How much do they pay?
They pay nothing.
Yeah,
Clients never pay anything.
Right, okay. Now that's the difference in the model, isn't it?
Yes.
Right, now
yes.
What I understand, being in this business as well, is that the banks and that have become very tough for you and you're only getting a fraction of what you used to get paid. Does that mean your service levels have dropped?
No, certainly not. Certainly not.
Well, that's a good question.
No, that would never happen. Look, some brokers have started charging a fee. There's an argument for charging fees, but at the moment we're prohibited, and I think that's fantastic. Look, we see a lot of people that we can't help, but we just, ask them to pass our card on to someone else. I just love the fact that we don't charge a fee and that we get paid exactly the same through Mortgage Choice. We get paid the same no matter which lender, so we're totally unbiased. So
Mortgage Choice centrally out of Sydney, they do the deals?
Yes.
And then, so they crunch the big deals with CommBank or ANZ or whomever,
yes.
And then they send down electronically,
yes.
In your software, what deals are best at the time?
Yes, well, not necessarily what deals. Well, the lenders actually feed all that information into Mortgage Choice, who then feed it on to us. So, for example, there's some good 3-year fixed rates out there at the moment. They come from the lender to us. So it's up to us to keep up to date with all of that, but our software has all of that on there. We can't remember, particularly with the interest rate changes of late, which bank has what standard variable rate, because they're all over the shop at the moment. Before GFC they were pretty well all the same, but they're all different now. So that's another reason why people really need to see a broker now more than ever, because there's just so much confusion out there, so much difference in which lender will do what.
So when